This is State Representative Jeffrey Elmore, and it's February 2nd, 2023. This is the first weekly session update for the long session, the 2023-24 session here at the General Assembly. Stuff is starting to move now, so I want to go ahead and do my first update to you. So we're going to talk about a few things, some bills that have been filed and what those bills consist of, and a visit to Rockingham Speedway, and talk to you a little bit about committees and bill process. So first, I was honored to be appointed by the Speaker to several committees for this session. Again, I am one of the full chairman of appropriations, so I'm one of the chief budget writers for the House, and I'm very honored that the Speaker felt that I did an excellent job this last session in that new role for me at that time. So now I'm in a veteran role with it. I also am sitting as a member of the Ag Committee, the Committee on Education for K-12, and the Committee for Education dealing with community colleges, and also pensions and retirement. So very honored to be placed on these committees, and there's a lot of work in all of those areas. So very excited to start the work there. I want to explain to you a little bit about bills. This is an exciting time because this is bill filing season, when all the ideas that members have and that they ran campaigns on or thought about, this is when they put that together and file their bill. Now, just because a bill is filed doesn't mean that it is law. It is just the first step in the process. So as of right now, staff told us there are almost 1,000 bills being drafted right now, and we've had several that have already been filed. We were up to 40 some in the House, in the Senate, and a few more in the House so far. So by the time we get done with session, there will be probably over 3,000 bills that are filed. But moving through the process, the number of those bills that complete the entire process and actually get over to the governor to be signed, that will narrow down to probably less than 5% of these bills will actually become law. So it's always exciting to see the beginning of the process. So this is where ideas start coming out. And talking about bills, I want to share with you a few that have moved through committee this week. The House Committee on Education K-12 met this week, and we voted on a bill that it was an education bill. It had a couple of budget corrections with it, dealing with a software, dealing with individual instruction called Guru. It was a budget technical correction dealing with their contract, and also a correction with some wording from a budget item. And then the bill also had something to do with NCAT. That is a staff development entity that has two campuses, one on Western Carolina University and then one on Ocracoke Island on the coast. And it's been used to create experiences for teachers to gain staff development. So it was changing the administration of that from a freestanding entity to move it under the Department of Public Instruction. Also filed this week, it hasn't been heard in committee yet, is Back the Blue Act. The Back the Blue Act will study the cost and benefits of excluding North Carolina income tax on the retirement pay of law enforcement personnel with a minimum of 5 years of service. We did take an action last session where we excluded military pensions from income tax. So this is kind of in the same vein there. Speaker also filed a bill this week, Speaker Moore out of Cleveland, House Bill 40, Prevent Rioting and Civil Disorder. This bill heightens the penalties placed on those who riot and those who cause bodily harm to emergency personnel, law enforcement, EMT, firemen. This bill was filed last year and moved through the entire process and was vetoed. So we're hoping this time that we will move the bill through the process, and we do have majority in the House and a supermajority in the Senate, that we will have enough votes on this to override it if it's not signed by Governor Cooper. Also, something I want to share with you, had a wonderful day yesterday down at the Rockingham Speedway. It was the formal kickoff of the North Carolina Moonshine and Motorsports Trail. And the Department of Cultural and Natural Resources has developed this trail, which we funded in the budget. And there's a website going already, promotional materials, and there are several stops on the trail already that a person can learn the history and heritage of motorsports and the moonshining industry in the state of North Carolina. So at the kickoff event yesterday, the first marker was placed at the Rockingham Speedway, the Rock, and I was honored to be there and share that experience with the folks down in Richmond County. So it was very exciting, and it was had a wonderful tour of the facility to see what state the facility is in and to see the ideas that they're having for the future of the Rockingham Speedway. I saw Terry Parsons there, and that was nice, and it was always good to see the Benny Parsons Tower there at Rockingham Speedway. So it was a good day yesterday for motorsports industry in North Carolina.